Hello and thank you for joining us here on this special edition of Indian Road. We're coming to you not from Concho, Oklahoma, but from beautiful downtown Santa Fe, New Mexico. We're here at the plaza for the 2018 Indian Market. The wonderful art of all kinds, sculpture, pottery, jewelry, photography, you name it, it's here. We're also going to try to spotlight some great Cheyenne and Arapaho art along the way. So how about we get started with this one.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of moving parts. I have a very small but a very mighty staff, and we pull it off year after year after year. And it's it's so cool to. This is the experience. This is why we're here, Santa Fe Indian Market. Right now we have, I would say, 664 tents. I believe like 996 artists who are featured here at the Indian Market. Annually, we bring in about 120,000 travelers per year. And then on top of that, I think we bring in about 120 million to the city in 2 days. Our travelers come from all over the world. As far as Japan, I've had a couple visitors come talk to me from England today. So yeah, they come from all over the place. Meet the artists, get to know the artists, talk to the artists. They're wonderful people. They have wonderful stories about their art. That's the best part about purchasing it, because you get to buy directly from the artist. The coolest thing about Indian Market is bringing all nations together and sharing in all tribal affiliations and their art, and learning, just stepping outside your comfort zone and learning about Native American art is by far the coolest thing about Indian Market.
It's always exciting to come out here to Santa Fe for Indian Art Market. Get to run into people I haven't seen in a while and meet new people.
So people love our art out here, the ledger or the Cheyenne style, because they see other artists doing it, but we're incorporating our history, our family histories, our tribal histories, our tribal designs, our tribal stories into it, and people love that. It's just not a generic buffalo. It's not a generic, battle scene or whatever. We're putting our, say like a meaning, like a soul into it.
When I do a piece, just like George does, we're telling the story of our ancestors. We're giving them a voice that they didn't have to let them give a talk and a speech. They think of us as being something that's kind of in natural history museums, that it's kind of in the past and that we're no longer here. But having shows like this around the country to show people that, hey, we are here. We live in the same neighborhoods, we go to the schools, we're part of the community, and we're just trying to keep that heritage and culture alive.
I am the future. I provide for my family. I will use my education to help my community. I will inspire our next generation of leaders. I am a college student, but I am only 1%.
Only 1% of college students are American Indian. Donate now and help our numbers grow. Education is the answer.
What I do is traditional pottery with contemporary flair. So what I do is get this clay, which is mined locally at Acoma Pueblo. I soak this, I sun dry it, grind it on a metate stone, and then soak it in rainwater. And here's the old pottery shard that I dug up from my grandmother's firing pit. And she's the one I learned the art from. So these two pieces combined make the clay. And here's what I use for the paint. It's iron oxide. It's ground on a harder piece of stone. And what I do is boil this Rocky Mountain beeweed plant, incorporate the juices that come from the plant. This makes the paint. And here's what I use for all my fine line artwork. It's the yucca fiber brush. You can make it as thin as you want to form all these nice fine patterns. So that's what I do. And I've been doing my art for over 55 years. And like I said, I learned from my grandmother. She taught me during summer months.
Talk about her.
During summer months, I would stay with her during summer vacations. So she would take me to all the clay mines, where to show me how to process the clays, show me where to get all the mineral pigments, which I use for all my colors. So everything is natural. Everything is almost from my backyard. Everything from the cotton wood that I use on my single figures, and also the clay and the colors, paint, and everything is local. So if you ever come to Acoma, our biggest feast day is September 2nd. So it would be a pleasure for all of you to come visit our pueblo at Acoma.
My family is from Sealing area, the Chapmans, but I was not raised in Oklahoma. So I've been out west for most of my life, and I lived in Montana for about 14 years. Spent a lot of time near Lame Deer, where I have a lot of aunts and uncles and cousins. These earrings have black diamonds in them, and the black is representative of victory. And the two moons are from an inspiration from a Sundance I went to up on the divide near Lame Deer, probably 30 years ago. I'm still growing as an artisan and still trying to refine my work, but the fact that I'm a member of the Cheyenne Arapaho tribe and that I have this platform to sell my work at has been life-changing for me. Absolutely life-changing. So very happy to be here. And so I try to represent CNA through my work and really take into consideration our history. I have a wonderful following, and I love to see people come back and wearing my jewelry. Oh, look, you did this for me. And I was pushed into using Facebook about 3-4 years ago, and it's been really nice because my friends and clients that I don't have time to stay in close touch with, they can kind of track me.
I'm the first Navajo as Miss Rodeo New Mexico, so to come here and share my culture and promote the professional sport of rodeo is absolutely amazing. This is my first trip to the Indian market, so there's lots to take in and so much artistry to also just consume yourself with. There's just so much. Honestly, you're able to take a little bit from everything and just the stories I think that they have to tell is absolutely amazing in that part, and being able to share that awareness through their pieces and their arts is incredible.
I am the future. I provide for my family. I will use my education to help my community. I will inspire our next generation of leaders. I am a college student, but I am only 1%.
Only 1% of college students are American Indian. Donate now and help our numbers grow. Education is the answer.
Art comes in all forms at Indian Market. Some of it decorates the wall, some of it your body, and some the shelf. But all the best art captures a moment in time, whether a painting, a sculpture, or a photograph. Eugene Tapahi has been taking photographs for decades, for news, sports, and most recently, the landscapes of the Southwest. When the Standing Rock struggle became a national story, Tapahi, like many Native journalists, felt like he needed to be there.
Off and on, I would see what's happening, but I kept trying to stay away because I really felt like my calling was to do landscape photography. I wasn't doing journalism anymore. But the more and more I put it out, the more and more I had this urge inside of me. It was a spiritual feeling inside of me that I needed to be there. And I think I really go back to the point where I feel like, you know what, if my grandma was 100%, she would have been down there, you know, the next day. She would have been in the kitchen cooking. She would have been down there helping the people. And I really felt like, you know, that was my calling. That was the earth, the land, you know, Mother Nature, Mother Earth was calling me to go out.
Tapahi and his family traveled to Standing Rock, the first of 5 visits. With no running water or electricity, the camp reminded him of early days with his grandmother and a strong sense of community. He also got the idea for a book.
We don't want it to gain money, to make money. We want to make it so that we can get the word out, document the real happenings, document the love and the unity of the camp. Tell it from a Native perspective, and not the violence, not what people in the mainstream have reported on, but what the people went through.
One of the highlights was experiencing the jingle dance. This dance, though, was not a performance or competition. This was a spiritual healing dance true to its origins.
And so during that jingle dance, we had Chief Looking Horse here. He was there, he was the spiritual leader at the camp at that time. And then we have his wife over here that actually is talking to the people during the jingle dance. And then you have all the ladies. There's over like 50 people that came from all over the, I guess, the U.S. that came to be able to perform in this jingle dance. And this is the picture of them here standing with their fists up. It's just so powerful to be able to see all these women come together and being able to come together to heal the people. And then the greatest thing that happened during that ceremony was that they actually allowed the media that were there to record and to be able to document this prayer, this sacred prayer that they were having, sacred song they were singing at the time. And the reason they did that was because they were saying that all over the world they were watching and the world needed to heal.
Through a Kickstarter fund on Facebook, Tapahi raised the funds to finish the book just in time for Santa Fe Indian Market. He's hoping to have a second printing of the book soon.
The people who actually did the contributions, they wanted to share their story. They wanted it documented. They wanted to do this. And they were waiting. They were actually waiting for someone to come and ask them to share their story. This was it was bigger than all of us. It was like it had to happen, not only for my family, but for the people of Standing Rock and the people who were there.
I am the future. I provide for my family. I will use my education to help my community. I will inspire our next generation of leaders. I am a college student, but I am only 1%.
Only 1% of college students are American Indian. Donate now and help our numbers grow. Education is the answer.
These are Hopi Dawas. So Dawa means sun in Hopi. Sun gives us life here on Mother Earth, and so the circle represents Mother Earth. I've been doing them since I've been young in elementary. My parents taught me. They taught me all the way from the beginning how to cut, sand, and drill, and then started weaving just the centerpieces for my mom, and then I started doing them on my own after I graduated from high school and into college. So I've been doing them my whole life, basically. Well, I do the cutting, the sanding, the drilling, and then I go to painting. And then after that, then of course I have to do my dowels and cut and sand those and paint those. After that, then I start with my designs. We've got the Hopi cape design on the bottom of it, and then around it's got the Hopi traditional belt design with the red, green, and the black. And then I use whether or not they're earth tone colors from Mother Earth, rainbow colors, sunset and sunrise colors. A lot of people kind of relate to them, especially healing people, Reiki people, because it has the color of the chakra as well too. So a lot of people look at these as healing Taoists too. So I've had a lot of compliments.
Basically, I do acrylic paintings because you can work faster on it. And when I was younger, those ideals used to come so quick, so fast, so I have to put them down real fast. And then whenever you work like that, it has to dry quickly. I did oil paintings and watercolors and all those other medias, and that's okay, but a lot of times when you have such a powerful ideal, you have to put it down real quick, real fast, or else it's gone, So, a lot of times I'll go ahead and use acrylic to do a lot of those studies and sketches, and that's the way I work. I work quickly. I work fast. Everything I do has a narrative, and I try to use it as the teaching tool. We teach to teach people. So, it's kind of like breadcrumbs. You leave breadcrumbs behind, and people follow it. People follow it, they follow that trail, and then they'll know. I'd like to see more young people engage in our traditional activities, traditional games, traditional ways, walk that traditional road.
The last morning of Santa Fe Indian Market began with a relaxed tone. But that would soon change with the opening of the Native American Clothing Contest.
Good morning to all my relations. How are we all doing? I think we could do a little bit better than that. How are we all doing? There we go. It's a beautiful morning here in Santa Fe.
The contest features categories for children and adults with traditional and contemporary fashions.
He's wearing embroidered kilts. He has otter fur hanging down in the front. He's got a headdress of macaw feathers and eagle feathers. He's got a rain staff and macaw feathers and eagle feathers. The panel coats are traditionally worn on festive occasions and made from contrasting panels with an overlap front, opening, and a neck band that extends to the hem.
One by one, the contestants took the stage to a grateful audience. Around 24 tribes were represented, with winners in 4 different categories.
Look at these handsome men.
Best in Show went to Jewel Hongva, representing the Wallapai tribe.
Wednesday I saw a flyer for a clothing contest, and I said, why not? And then sure enough, entered, brought this out. On my face is Indian red paint, also known as red ochre, and it just signifies its beautification, but it also represents kind of that single and unmarried. There's different designs for when you're married, for when you're a widow. Around my neck is a clay beaded necklace. This one I traded from our relatives, the Pai Pai people down in Mexico. They have a language dialect that is very similar to ours. On my shoulders are the rabbit pelt that for cooler temps in the wintertime, the fall, that we can use as a shawl for warmth. Around my bust is buckskin, and then on my waist is the bark skirt held together by the yucca twine. This probably, to go out and pull the bark from the trees, that takes about a good day and a half. The process really comes from twining the yucca. That takes a while because it has to boil, you have to clean it, you have to twine it. And then once you twine it, you just weave it into the cliff rose bark. And then on my feet are the yucca twine sandals. My toenails aren't part of the tradition.
That's not traditional, huh?
Yeah, that's not traditional. But so this is what we wore in the canyons, the canyons, the desert, but we also have pine trees, as Wallapai means people of the tall pines. And on the eastern part of our reservation are very tall ponderosa pine trees.
So since you won, I take it you're coming back again next year.
I'll come, but I'll just come to enjoy it.
As the 2018 Indian Market drew to a close, the Santa Fe Convention Center hosted its own fashion show. And this one was anything but traditional. that wraps it up for this special edition of Indian Road right here at the 2018 Santa Fe Indian Market. We hope you've enjoyed it half as much as we'd enjoyed bringing it to you. Ha ho! Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.